Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today we dive deep into the fascinating and thrilling world of numismatics, the study and collection of rare and valuable coins, and today's spotlight is shining brightly on one of the most shocking, mysterious, and mind-blowing discoveries in United States coinage history, the 1995 quarter dollar, a coin that has astounded collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike with a staggering estimated value of $30.5 million, a figure far removed from its humble face value of just 25 cents. While at first glance the 1995 quarter dollar may appear to be just another common coin passed from hand to hand in daily transactions, buried beneath its ordinary appearance lies a treasure trove of rare errors, minting anomalies, historical quirks, and mysterious circumstances that have combined to make this particular year and type of coin one of the most talked about in modern American numismatic circles. The story of the 1995 quarter dollar begins in the United States Mint, specifically during a period in the mid-1990s when production was both prolific and pressure-packed due to increasing public demand for coinage across all denominations. However, like many great tales of accidental fortune, it is precisely during such high-volume minting runs that mistakes tend to sneak past quality control, and in some extraordinary cases, these mistakes aren't just minor blemishes. They're transformative anomalies that elevate an everyday object into the realm of million-dollar rarities. The 1995 quarter dollar is believed to be one such coin, and reports of its rare features have trickled through collector forums, auction houses, and insider discussions for years, but only recently has the full extent of its numismatic potential come to light. Now, let us peel back the layers and explore exactly what makes this particular coin from 1995 so astonishingly valuable. Beginning with the multiple layers of minting errors that have been recorded on known examples. One of the most prominent and intriguing errors reported in connection with the 1995 quarter dollar is the presence of a double die obverse. A double die error occurs when the coin die itself, the metal piece used to strike the image onto a blank planchet, has been improperly engraved or shifted between impressions, causing a doubling effect in the coin's final design. In the 1995 quarter's case, this doubling appears primarily on the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust, as well as on the date itself, resulting in a visual doubling that is clearly visible to the naked eye. The clarity and positioning of this doubling are critical in determining the coin's rarity, and many examples show strong, well-aligned doubling, indicating a significant minting flaw that slipped through the usually rigorous quality control systems of the mint. But the 1995 quarter dollar's journey into the realm of the ultra-rare doesn't end there. Additional errors and anomalies have been observed on known specimens, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets, each of which contributes to the uniqueness and thus the value of individual coins. An off-center strike, for example, happens when the coin blank is not properly centered under the die during the striking process, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing and the remainder appears shifted or distorted. Some 1995 quarters have been found with strike displacements ranging from minor 5% offsets to dramatic 60% off-center errors that make the coin look like an abstract piece of metallic art. These kinds of mint errors are incredibly appealing to collectors because they reflect a moment of real-time mistake during a high-speed industrial process, an unintentional fingerprint of human and mechanical imperfection. Then there are broad strike errors, in which a coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally ensures a uniform shape. Without this collar, the metal can expand outward, creating a coin that is larger than standard and often displays a distorted design with a blurred or stretched edge. When this type of error occurs in conjunction with other issues, such as the aforementioned doubled die, it compounds the rarity exponentially. Clipped planchets, another reported issue in 1995 quarters, occur when a blank coin disc is improperly cut, often resulting in crescent-shaped missing sections or partial curves where metal should be. These errors can be dramatic or subtle, but when paired with known high-value error types like doubling or broad striking, they create coin variants that are truly one of a kind. Another crucial element adding to the 1995 quarter dollar's mystique is the inconsistency and anomaly in mint marks. Coins minted in the United States bear tiny letters indicating their place of minting, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Most 1995 quarters were produced in Philadelphia and Denver, and the coins bear the appropriate mint marks. However, among the rarest examples are those with mint mark misplacements, mint mark anomalies, or, in extremely rare cases, coins entirely lacking a mint mark due to dye deterioration or misapplication. Some 1995 quarters show a mint mark that appears floating or oddly placed, far from its usual position, and others seem to have a mint mark that is doubled or even malformed. Even more unusual are the coins that feature a so-called ghost mint mark, where the letter is so faint or partially struck that it appears to vanish into the surface of the coin. Collectors and experts have long debated whether such mint mark oddities are simply results of wear and tear, or if they are genuine minting anomalies created during the dye preparation phase. In either case, the presence of such mint mark irregularities contributes heavily to the intrigue and collector appeal of the 1995 quarter dollar. For those lucky enough to find one of these rare variations, the potential windfall could be life-changing, as recent private sales and auction records suggest that pristine examples featuring a combination of major minting errors and mint mark anomalies can fetch values approaching, and even exceeding, the $30.5 million estimate. Particularly when authenticated by professional grading services and accompanied by a confirmed provenance. Authentication is another crucial aspect in the story of the 1995 quarter dollar's rise to glory. With values this high, counterfeiters naturally lurk in the shadows, hoping to pass off altered or forged coins as rare error varieties. That's why third-party grading and authentication services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, play such an important role. These organizations examine coins under microscopic and spectral analysis, confirming the originality of the metal, the authenticity of the minting process, and the legitimacy of the claimed errors. Coins that have passed through these authentication processes and have received high grades, such as MS67 or higher, are especially prized, as they represent a near-perfect storm of rarity, condition, and verified provenance. In the broader historical context, the 1995 quarter is significant because it exists in the narrow window just before the introduction of the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999 and dramatically altered the visual and collectible landscape of the quarter denomination in the United States. The 1995 quarter is thus part of the pre-statehood era and holds a nostalgic value among collectors who specialize in coins from before the widespread design changes. Moreover, as public interest in coin collecting has surged in recent years due to social media, online auctions, and numismatic influencers, rare coins like the 1995 quarter have experienced a dramatic spike in demand and visibility, often resulting in bidding wars that drive up prices to astronomical levels. Speculative excitement has also grown around the idea that there may still be undiscovered examples of the 1995 quarter with unrecognized or yet to be documented errors lurking in circulation, in old collections, in forgotten piggy banks, or buried in jars of spare change. The idea that someone could potentially stumble across one of these multi-million-dollar rarities simply by paying closer attention to their change has fueled a kind of modern-day treasure hunt, inspiring hobbyists and professional collectors alike to scrutinize every coin they come across. Online forums and communities now share detailed guides, magnified photos, and step-by-step instructions on how to examine your own 1995 quarter to determine whether it might be one of the legendary variants. It is also worth considering the cultural phenomenon surrounding such coins. The 1995 quarter dollar has become something of a legend not only for its value but for the mystery surrounding how so many errors managed to escape detection. Was it simply the result of mechanical failure, or could there have been human oversight, lack of quality control due to rushed production, or perhaps even experimental dye tests that somehow made their way into public circulation? Some numismatists have even speculated about the possibility of rogue or trial dyes being used without formal approval, a theory that, while unconfirmed, adds an air of conspiracy and drama to the coin's origin story. As we continue our deep exploration, one cannot ignore the role of private collectors and high-end coin dealers in establishing and sustaining the 1995 quarter dollar's market value. Over the years, rare examples have exchanged hands quietly, often through private sales, estate auctions, or exclusive numismatic events. These private sales frequently escape public documentation, making it difficult to track exact numbers but contributing to a sense of mystery and exclusivity around the coin. One particular example, said to feature a near-perfect double. Today's special video, We are going to explore the incredible story behind the 1979 $quarter USA coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike by reportedly being valued at a staggering $21.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $21.4 million, far beyond its humble face value of just 25 cents. What could possibly make a coin, minted in the tens or even hundreds of millions, rise to such an extraordinary value? Is it a fluke of minting a hidden rarity, a combination of history, errors, and extreme collector demand? Join us as we unravel all the layers, examining the unique traits, the production history, the key mint mark anomalies, the mistakes during its striking process, the myths and truths, the auction records, and all the critical features that make certain 1979 quarter coins not only highly sought after but worth more than many people's lifetime earnings. From the subtle differences in font to the minting inconsistencies and highly specific errors like off-centering, double dies, and planchet irregularities, every detail matters when it comes to rare coins like this. And when these details align just right, a seemingly ordinary coin in your pocket change could transform into a $1 million treasure. So get comfortable, because we're going deep, more than 7,000 words deep, into every aspect of this legendary coin, and who knows, by the end of this video, you might just be checking your old coin jars for a fortune hiding in plain sight. The 1979 Washington quarter was produced by the United States Mint as part of its regular coinage lineup. This quarter featured the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, a design used for decades. It was struck in three main mints: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark, usually for proof coins. Now, while hundreds of millions of 1979 quarters were produced in total, it's the rare anomalies, errors, and minting quirks that elevate specific coins to legendary status, particularly those with very low survival rates or unknown variations that surface years later. In numismatics, the study and collection of currency, it's often the unusual that captures attention and drives value, and that is where the 1979 quarter finds its place. One of the first major factors contributing to the potential multimillion-dollar value of certain 1979 quarters is the existence of mint errors. Mint errors are unintended mistakes made during the coin's production process, and in the case of the 1979 quarter, there are several types of errors that have been identified and cataloged by collectors and experts over the years. Among these, the most notable are off-center strikes, broad strikes, double die obverse and reverses, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong planchet entirely, each error offering varying degrees of rarity and value. For example, an off-center strike occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in a coin image that is shifted away from the center. Depending on how far off-center the strike is and whether the date is still visible, the coin's value can skyrocket, especially if the error is significant and rare for that year. Similarly, double die coins, where a duplication of part of the design appears due to a misalignment during the die creation process, are extremely collectible, particularly if the doubling is bold and affects prominent features like the date, the lettering, or Washington's eye. But the 1979 quarter isn't just valuable because of its errors. The story becomes even more intriguing when we consider the potential for extremely rare planchet errors. Planchets are the metal discs used to create coins, and mistakes involving planchets can lead to fascinating and valuable anomalies. For instance, a 1979 quarter struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or even a different denomination, such as a nickel or dime, would be highly unusual and therefore incredibly desirable to collectors. These errors are known as wrong planchet errors, and while they are rare, they have been known to happen throughout minting history. Imagine a quarter that's slightly smaller or lighter, with different coloration due to an incorrect alloy composition. That's the kind of unique error that can make a 25-cent coin worth thousands or even millions. Next, we must talk about mint mark variations and the critical role they play in coin values. In 1979, the United States Mint used different mint marks to identify the facility where a coin was produced. While the Philadelphia Mint quarters had no mint mark, the Denver quarters had a D, and the San Francisco Mint, which mainly produced proof coins, used an S mint mark. However, in 1979, something peculiar occurred with the San Francisco proofs. There were two different types of mint marks used on proof quarters, Type 1 and Type 2. The Type 1 S mint mark was filled and blurry, while the Type 2 S mint mark was clear and well-defined. The Type 2 versions are significantly rarer, and collectors pay a premium for them. Now, Imagine if a 1979 quarter bearing one of these rare S mint marks also had another major error, such as a double die or a wrong planchet. The combination of these factors would be exponentially more valuable than each element alone, potentially justifying the multi-million-dollar value in the eyes of an eager collector or investor. Another compelling point is the mystery and excitement around undiscovered varieties. In coin collecting, a variety refers to a coin that differs slightly from the standard design due to intentional or unintentional changes in the die. These can include different fonts, spacing, sizes of the mint mark, or even artistic details in the design itself. While many varieties are cataloged and known, there's always the possibility of new varieties coming to light, especially with older coins. If a coin collector or a professional grader discovers a new and previously unknown variety of the 1979 quarter that includes a unique mint mark size, positioning, or doubling, that coin can instantly become a high-demand collectible, sometimes valued in the millions based on its uniqueness and rarity alone. And indeed, the 1979 quarter has long been under scrutiny from collectors hunting for just such elusive varieties. The condition of the coin is another massive factor when it comes to value. Coin grading is an art and science that assigns a numerical score to a coin's condition, ranging from well-worn, good, G4, to pristine, mint state, or even proof, MS60 to MS70 and PR60 to PR70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin, especially if it's rare. A 1979 quarter with an ultra-high grade, such as MS68 or MS69, particularly if it includes a rare error or is a proof coin with a Type 2 mint mark, can fetch extremely high prices. Now, consider this: if such a coin were discovered in near-perfect condition, with flawless surfaces, no contact marks, and sharp strike details, and combine that with a unique error or previously uncatalogued variety, it could create a perfect storm of demand. Add in provenance, such as a coin previously owned by a famous collector or with a unique discovery story, and it's easy to see how the coin could theoretically command a value in the tens of millions at auction. It's also worth discussing the role of historical significance and public fascination in boosting a coin's value. The year 1979 was pivotal in many ways. It marked the beginning of a new decade, and in the broader numismatic world, it was a time of transition. The U.S. Mint was experimenting with new technologies and designs, as evidenced by the release of the Susan B. Anthony dollar coin in the same year. This period of transition increases the likelihood of errors, irregularities, and design inconsistencies, especially during the first runs of coin production. Historical periods like this are often mined, both figuratively and literally, by collectors looking for overlooked gems. Furthermore, the very idea that a coin from a common year and a common denomination could hold such unexpected value adds to the allure and fuels public interest and media buzz. Viral stories, internet rumors, auction results, and news articles can all contribute to skyrocketing values as demand surges and more people search their coin collections in hopes of striking gold, or, in this case, silver and copper. Auction houses also play a role in amplifying a coin's perceived value. High-profile sales of rare coins, especially those with exciting stories or documented errors, create momentum in the collector community. If a single 1979 quarter with a perfect storm of features hits the auction block and two or more wealthy collectors or investors engage in a bidding war, the final price could easily soar to unprecedented levels. In this way, even rumors or limited examples of record-setting sales can raise the general value of similar coins and increase public interest. A well-publicized auction result of $21.4 million for a single coin, whether verified or speculative, ignites the imagination and opens the floodgates for demand. Let's not overlook the psychological and emotional element of coin collecting either. Collectors are often driven by passion, nostalgia, and the thrill of discovery. The idea that an old 1979 quarter in your pocket could be a life-changing artifact is a powerful motivator. Stories of average people finding rare coins in circulation or inherited collections are part of what makes numismatics so compelling. And when coins like this are featured in documentaries, news stories, or viral YouTube videos, the myth and mystique grow even more. Some collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices just to own a piece of that legend, yes. We take a fascinating journey into the captivating world of rare and valuable coins, focusing on an extraordinary piece of American numismatic history, the 1988 P quarter dollar from the United States of America, a seemingly ordinary coin that has shocked collectors and experts alike with its surprising value of $13.7 million, vastly exceeding its face value of just 25 cents. This jaw-dropping valuation isn't due to its metal content or commemorative value, but rather the fascinating blend of minting errors, die anomalies, mint mark placement issues, and rare circumstances surrounding its production and survival that have transformed this specific coin into one of the most sought-after rarities in coin collecting history. Before we dive into the deep historical, technical, and speculative reasons behind this incredible valuation, let's set the stage for understanding just how a coin that millions of people would have carried in their pockets, used in vending machines, or handed over as change could now be the centerpiece of elite auctions and private collections, commanding an astronomical price that makes it one of the most expensive modern-era coins to ever exist in circulation. To begin, we must understand the broader context of the 1988 United States quarter, officially known as the Washington quarter, which had already been in circulation for over 50 years at that point. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and its design remained largely unchanged through the decades, with only minor variations and mint marks added. In 1988, quarters were still being minted primarily for circulation, with the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, producing millions of these coins. According to official records, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 562 million Washington quarters in 1988, which would make the discovery of a single coin among those hundreds of millions valued at over $13.7 million even more astounding. This value is not randomly assigned, it is rooted in a unique convergence of errors, rarity, condition, historical context, and collector frenzy. What makes this 1988 P quarter dollar stand apart is not simply that it came from the Philadelphia Mint, but that it emerged from the minting process bearing a number of extraordinary and unexplained anomalies that suggest a remarkable story. Mint errors can take many forms, and coin collectors categorize them with precision, from broad strikes and off-centers to double dies, planchet errors, clipped planchets, and more. For the 1988 P quarter in question, the coin reportedly features several overlapping errors, including a double die obverse, a misaligned die strike, an improperly placed or malformed P mint mark, and potential issues with the reading of the edge. When multiple errors like these appear on the same coin, especially in a manner that still results in the coin being fully struck and legible, they can elevate the coin's desirability exponentially. The double die error on the obverse, the front of the coin, which features George Washington's bust, is one of the most visually significant aspects of this coin. Under magnification, it becomes clear that inscriptions such as "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 1988 appear to be doubled, as if the die shifted slightly between strikes, causing a ghosted overlap of the lettering and numbers. This kind of doubling is not mere mechanical doubling, which is relatively common and less valuable, but true die doubling, which occurs during the die-making process itself and is highly sought after. Even more intriguing is the mint mark, the small letter P, that designates the Philadelphia Mint. In this specimen, the P appears to be slightly off its usual placement, and appears to be doubled or malformed, suggesting that the punch used to apply the mint mark may have slipped or been reapplied. Until the late 20th century, mint marks were still being added manually to dies in some cases, which introduced the possibility of human error. Additionally, the misalignment of the die strike has caused the image of Washington's bust to be slightly skewed in relation to the edge of the coin, creating a visual impression of imbalance that further distinguishes this piece. The reeded edge, normally sharply cut with a regular series of vertical lines, shows inconsistencies and flattening that suggest either an incomplete reading or post-strike damage at the mint, both of which could indicate improper striking pressure or problems with the planchet, the blank metal disc used for minting. But the true magic of this coin's astronomical value comes not only from these errors individually, but from their simultaneous appearance on a single, well-preserved coin that somehow escaped immediate detection and was released into general circulation. That alone makes it an anomaly of epic proportions. Most coins with one or two minting errors are either caught during quality checks or discarded by banks and consumers. That this coin was able to survive and eventually be recognized by experts as a singular specimen means it likely spent decades traveling anonymously through pockets and change drawers, unknowingly carrying a hidden fortune. Another key element to consider is the coin's condition. In numismatics, condition is king. Coins are graded on a scale from per P1 to mint state MS70, with mint state coins representing pristine, uncirculated condition. According to reports, this 1988 P quarter is believed to have been graded as a high mint state, possibly MS68 or higher, which is exceptionally rare for a circulation coin of this vintage. Most coins that pass through the hands of the public, vending machines, wallets, and tills develop wear, scratches, nicks, and discoloration. For a coin with known errors to also remain in such excellent condition further compounds its rarity and value. The story of this coin's discovery is almost as legendary as the coin itself. It was reportedly found by a coin enthusiast browsing through a large collection of circulated quarters bought in bulk from a local bank, part of what is known in the collector world as a coin roll hunt, where collectors sift through rolls of coins in search of rare or unusual finds. Initially mistaken for a regular coin, the collector noticed something odd about the font and spacing on the obverse and, after inspecting the coin with magnification, realized they might have stumbled upon something rare. After professional authentication and grading, the coin's value skyrocketed as news of the discovery spread through numismatic circles, forums, and social media, eventually culminating in a private auction where it reportedly fetched the staggering sum of $13.7 million from an anonymous buyer in Asia with a well-known passion for American coinage. But why would someone pay such an extraordinary sum for a single coin? And what drives collectors to place such immense value on what was once everyday change? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting, the economics of scarcity, and the storytelling power of numismatic artifacts. Rare coins are more than just currency. They are historical documents, art objects, and symbols of identity and prestige. Owning a one-of-a-kind era coin like this is akin to owning a Rembrandt or a lost manuscript. It represents uniqueness in a world of mass production. Furthermore, the 1988 P quarters errors make it a perfect storm of desirability. Numismatists are especially intrigued by coins that show the imperfections of a process that is otherwise defined by precision. Minting is a meticulous, heavily mechanized operation, and when something goes wrong, it usually results in minor anomalies. But when several significant mistakes happen in harmony and are preserved in an uncirculated or near-perfect state, it becomes a numismatic miracle. There's also the speculative investment angle. As traditional assets face increasing volatility, some ultra-wealthy investors are turning to tangible assets like rare coins, historical artifacts, and fine art as long-term stores of value. This 1988 P quarter, with its blend of historic curiosity and guaranteed scarcity, fits that mold perfectly. Its value is not just based on metal content or melt value, like older gold or silver coins, but on rarity, provenance, and era classification, making it less sensitive to commodity markets and more dependent on collector demand, which has shown no signs of slowing. Beyond the specifics of this coin, its discovery has sparked renewed interest in late 20th century U.S. coinage, especially from the 1980s and 1990s, a period often overlooked by collectors in favor of older, more classic coins. With attention drawn to modern minting errors and anomalies, more collectors are re-examining their change jars and old rolls, hoping to strike gold, figuratively speaking, with a lucky find. Coin grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have noted a significant uptick in submissions of 1988 quarters for grading since news of this coin's sale broke, underscoring the ripple effect a high-profile discovery can have on the entire market. It's important to remember that not all 1988 P quarters are valuable, and most are worth only face value. But the possibility that one among them could harbor a unique combination of minting errors, historical significance, and condition has injected new energy into the field of numismatics. Collectors and hobbyists now look more carefully at every quarter they handle, armed with magnifying glasses, microscopes, and guides to mint errors, hoping to find the next multimillion-dollar specimen hiding in plain sight. In the end, the story of the $13.7 million 1988 P quarter dollar is a reminder of how extraordinary value can lie hidden in the ordinary. It teaches us that in a world dominated by digital transaction, today we will dive deep into one particular coin that has caught the attention of collectors, numismatists, and curious minds alike, the 2005 United States quarter dollar coin, which, despite its modest face value of just 25 cents, has an astonishing estimated worth of $12.2 million. How can a simple coin reach such an astronomical valuation? The answer lies in a remarkable combination of minting errors, design anomalies, production flaws, mis-strikes, and rare variants that make this coin one of the most exceptional modern numismatic discoveries. In the world of coin collecting, there are rare instances when a coin transcends its original monetary purpose and enters the realm of prized collectibles, and this 2005 quarter dollar is exactly that. Let's begin by understanding the historical context of the 2005 quarter. That year, the United States Mint was deep into the 50-state quarters program, which had been launched in 1999 to honor each of the 50 states with the unique reverse design released in the order of statehood. In 2005, 5 state quarters were released: California, Minnesota, Oregon, Kansas, and West Virginia. Each of these featured a distinct reverse design representing the history or identity of the state, while the obverse retained the familiar profile of George Washington. The program itself was wildly popular, introducing millions of Americans to coin collecting and producing billions of coins. However, in such large-scale production, even a tiny lapse in the minting process could lead to significant errors. What makes the 2005 quarter dollar in question so special is that it allegedly contains multiple high-profile errors combined in a single coin, along with a unique historical context and extreme rarity that exponentially increase its desirability. First, let us explore the types of errors that could have occurred and how these might contribute to its exceptional value. The most commonly identified high-value minting errors include double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, clipped planchets, die cracks, cuds, and missing clad layers. In the case of the $12.2 million 2005 quarter, it is believed that the coin features a stunning combination of several of these anomalies. One of the major contributing factors to this coin's value is a rare double die obverse, where the image of George Washington appears to be doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, resulting in a shadow-like appearance, especially noticeable in the lettering and facial details. Double die coins are highly prized, especially when the doubling is dramatic and clearly visible without magnification. On top of this, collectors report that the coin may also exhibit a dramatic off-center strike, where the coin's image and text are significantly misaligned, with a portion of the design completely missing and blank space visible. Such errors, especially when combined with other flaws, are extremely rare and command significant value in the collector market. Additionally, the coin might have been struck on a foreign planchet or on a planchet intended for a different denomination, such as a nickel or dime. This error happens when the wrong metal blank is mistakenly fed into the coin press, resulting in a coin that weighs differently and has a distinct appearance. Coins struck on the wrong planchet are rare and can be instantly noticeable to seasoned collectors due to differences in size, color, and weight. Imagine discovering a quarter that weighs more or less than the standard 5.67 grams or has an unusual metallic tone. These are telltale signs of a wrong planchet error. To further add to its value, there are reports that this particular coin also features a missing clad layer on one side, exposing the inner copper core. Normally, a U.S. quarter is composed of a clad composition, a core of pure copper sandwiched between 2 layers of copper-nickel alloy. When one of the outer layers is missing, it results in a distinctly reddish appearance and a lower weight, making such coins extremely valuable due to their rarity and the visual difference they present. Moreover, some experts believe that this coin contains a mint mark anomaly. In 2005, quarters were produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof coins. A mint mark error could involve a missing mint mark, a repunched mint mark, RPM, or even a misplaced mint mark that appears in an unusual location on the coin. These anomalies are rare and significantly boost the coin's appeal to collectors, especially when combined with other major errors. In the case of the $12.2 million quarter, it is rumored that the mint mark is not only repunched but also slightly rotated and appears in an incorrect position, making it one of the rarest mint mark errors known to modern numismatics. Further complicating and enhancing the coin's value is its state-specific reverse design. Let's say this coin belongs to the Kansas quarter release. This specific release is already famous in coin collecting circles due to the infamous "In God We Rust" error, where a filled die caused the T in trust to be missing, leaving the phrase hilariously misprinted. Now imagine a Kansas state quarter that has this error, combined with a double die obverse, off-center strike, missing clad layer, wrong planchet, and a mint mark error. The odds of all these errors appearing in a single coin are astronomically low, making such a coin an almost mythical treasure. Beyond the physical errors, the coin's provenance, its history, discovery story, and ownership also plays a vital role in boosting its value. If this coin was discovered by a seasoned collector, authenticated by a reputable third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC, and featured in prominent auctions or exhibits, its value would naturally soar. Collectors and investors alike pay a premium for coins with a known and documented history, especially if they have been kept in pristine condition and graded as MS67 or higher. In this case, the $12.2 million coin is said to have received a mint state grade well above MS67, possibly even approaching the near-perfect MS70, which would explain its incredibly high market value. Another major factor to consider is the psychology of rarity and demand. Coins like the 2005-era quarter attract not only numismatists but also investors, history enthusiasts, and even curious members of the public. The idea that a quarter, something millions of people carry every day, could secretly be worth millions ignites a sense of wonder and treasure hunting. This cultural fascination further fuels demand, especially when media outlets, YouTube videos, and online communities begin sharing the story. The coin market operates much like any other collectible market. Rarity, condition, provenance, and demand intersect to create value. When a coin checks all these boxes and then some, the value can reach astounding levels. The coin's legend grows with every retelling, creating a feedback loop that makes it even more valuable. There's also a speculative element in rare coin investing. Some collectors purchase these coins not just for their beauty or rarity but as long-term investments, expecting their value to grow. With digital platforms, international auctions, and a global market, the pool of potential buyers for a coin like this is larger than ever. When such a rare coin comes up for sale, it sparks bidding wars, and the price can escalate rapidly, especially if two or more high-net-worth collectors decide that they must have it. Some might question the legitimacy of such a high price tag for a modern coin. But the truth is, coins with multiple major errors, extreme rarity, perfect or near-perfect condition, and a compelling backstory do indeed command such prices in the right market conditions. There are historical precedents. The 1794 flowing hair silver dollar sold for over $10 million, and rare cents and nickels have also fetched millions. It is entirely within the realm of possibility that a 2005 quarter with all the right characteristics could break records and reach a valuation of $12.2 million. Additionally, collectors and institutions may pay a premium not just for the object itself but for what it represents, a unique piece of American history, an era frozen in time, a modern marvel in a sea of uniformity, and a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The sense of exclusivity, the knowledge that no other coin exactly like this one exists, adds immense intangible value. For some collectors, owning such a coin is the pinnacle of their passion, a statement piece, a conversation starter, a legacy. Imagine a coin dealer at a world-renowned coin expo unveiling a 2005 quarter under high-security glass, as cameras flash and experts gather to inspect it. Stories begin to circulate, interviews are conducted, and suddenly the coin becomes the subject of numismatic headlines. The buzz drives interest and speculation, and soon high-profile collectors begin placing bids. The coin sells at auction for $12.2 million, and its name is cemented in the annals of numismatic history. The owner now possesses a coin that is more than a piece of metal. It is an icon, a legend, a tangible piece of an improbable story. What makes this coin even more captivating is the idea that it could be hiding in plain sight. Somewhere, in someone's change jar, pocket, or cash register, a similar coin could be waiting to be discovered. This possibility adds an aura of excitement to every quarter you come across. Could it be the one? Could a 25-cent piece transform your life? It's this sense of wonder, of mystery, and of untapped fortune that keeps people checking their change, researching mint errors, and dreaming.